Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here and talk a little bit about beauty being in the eye of the beholder. Super cliche. I got this idea a while back from a session that I had about doing a video without makeup on, so here I am in the raw. So this is kind of uncomfortable for me. I did just get out of the shower not too long ago, so there is nothing in my hair. This is exactly what I look like. And this is kind of fun. So we're going to dive into talking about how to kind of be really confident in yourself when it comes to your energy rather than when it comes to what you look like. We're in 2020 now, and we're coming into a space of marrying our divine feminine and divine masculine energies within ourselves, which kind of amplify where we're heading as a collective, meaning as the world. So with doing that, it really encourages us and it tells us we really want to amplify or magnify our energy so that we can pull things that are in our higher reality toward us now. So I'm going to dive into that a little bit. I have a cover on my phone and it reads, "Blessed be are those who find beauty in humble things and humble places where others would see nothing." I've kept that on my phone as my background for a few months now. I found it really beautiful. It's like green and blue and it has birds flying everywhere, and then it has these little, like, almost looks like neural pathways, which are dots, and they have all these arms going out and connecting to other dots. So with this, for me in my life, I don't want to sound pretentious about this. This video is with all the love in the world. It is done with the most unconditional love. So ego would say, this is for attention or whatever the case is, but that's not the case. This is a relational piece. I know that I'm a beautiful person. I know that I am easy on the eyes physically. I do have my own insecurities that I won't even talk about because, I want to, but I'm trying to understand the psychology behind everybody watching, and I don't want to just point things out to me while you guys are watching being like, what the hell are you talking about? So I'm not going to go there. However, talking about energy showing your beauty on the outside, I knew that you have to be more than just a pretty face too. And I've had a pretty rough time in my life, and growing up, it hasn't really been the easiest. And especially with the way that I look, there are things that come with trauma responses from my past that lead me, especially in relationships. Like, it's really hard for me to discern who actually wants to put energy into seeing me rather than lusting after me. So for me, it's been really hard to have healthy relationships because there's a disconnection when it comes to me discerning who actually wants to spend time with me and who is manipulating me. So that's been a really hard thing that I've come across when it comes to that too with beauty. I've always been a really deep thinker, and I've always had really reflective thoughts. I've always been somebody who is very emotionally sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive person, so every single part of my being is sensitive. I know that's not always the easiest thing to interact with, but it's beautiful nonetheless. So I've always wanted somebody to see that part of me, the part of me that is a giver and a lover and is poetic and is smart and deep, rather than seeing the physical me. So I've struggled with those things too. And I think when you go through what I did as a child, you never really feel recognized for the things that you have to offer outside of being pretty or whatever the case is. So I struggled a lot in relationships when it comes to who actually wants me, and who actually just wants me So that's been really, really hard. So I've spent a lot of time trying to magnify my energy. And what I mean by that is to pull my energy and those things that I want people to see me for forward, more than what I want people to see from the outside. So I've had to really look within and say, okay, I understand that everything is a reflection of me. So if those people are mirroring back to me pure lust and emotionally unavailability, however you want to put that, then I have to look within myself and say, am I being emotionally available to myself? Am I looking at my emotional body and taking care of that? When I'm feeling upset or when I'm sad or angry, do I sit with myself and be the parent that I wanted my parents to be to my childlike self? I've learned to do that. So now, because I'm able to sit with myself in a time of emotional turbulation, I'm able to attract people into my life that are more emotionally available. Whereas before there was no emotional availability at all, it was purely physical, and I was feeling like I was taken advantage of a lot of the time. It's really not healthy because you want people to see you for who you are, but you have to know who you are first. So I understood that. I didn't know who I was, so how could I expect anybody to take care of who I was? So at the end of the day, that's kind of how this started, was I knew that I needed to invest in myself, to invest in my connections later in life. So I've spent a lot of time being emotionally available to myself, which looks like it's messy. If I'm, crying or sad, I hold space for that, and then the judgment mind comes in and says, you're so sensitive, why are you getting upset about this, and blah, 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 blah. So I've also had to learn to love those parts of me that do get sensitive, because that's a beautiful quality. And there are reasons why we become imbalanced and that things get out of hand. There are reasons why we become so triggered that we are clouded by an emotion, is because we haven't felt it and we haven't allowed ourselves to feel it. There are so many people out there who are told, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. But you need to do whatever you need to do in order to heal. And the only thing that we can do in order to heal is to feel. You have to feel to heal. You have to feel through everything. So I've spent a lot of time doing that. Now, one piece that I've been struggling with recently is where I'm trying to connect now is to my physical body. I've been through a lot of trauma physically. So what that looks like for me now is it's hard for me to locate feelings in my physical body. Like I go to a therapist, he says, well, where do you feel this in your body? And I always say, I don't really know. And he, confirms that that's something that happens when we go through trauma. Sometimes we disconnect from our body because we don't want to feel something. So I've struggled a lot with feeling things physically, whether it's working out or eating right, or even just physical sensations. I get like sensory overload. So I've been trying to be more mindful with like taking showers, and that has been something that is connecting me to my physical body, where I love and have always loved being in water, and specifically showers. I will take showers for an hour, if I could, 2 hours, I'd be in there forever. That's something that really calms me. It's something that soothes me and nurtures me physically without feeling like I have to force it. Anything done by force is going to have an opposite reaction. So if I have to force myself to go to the gym, most likely I'm not going to give it my all, and I'm not going to feel that great doing it. Now, I also do this thing called muscle testing in order to test my body for what it needs. That helps me connect with my physical body too, because we have an emotional, mental, and physical body. Sometimes they can argue with each other. A lot of times they argue with each other. So I will muscle test using either my fingers. So I will say yes or no question, yes, no, and you will break the cycle, because anytime we're saying a statement that is true, our muscles are going to tense up. This is kinesiology. Anytime we state a statement that is untrue, our muscles relax. So that's how you're going to get your yes and your no. You can also do a body pendulum. So if you're standing there, you say yes, you're going to either go forward. If you say no, most likely you're going to go backwards. So this is how I kind of connect with my physical body too. If I say, it's in my highest and best good to go to the gym today, yes. It's in my highest and best good to go to the gym and work out. Yes. Sometimes you need to just go to the gym and show up, and maybe that's all you need to do. At least you're holding space for that. So this is how I've been connecting with my physical body. So I've just been connecting with all those parts of me. And when you start connecting with yourself and reconnecting all those pieces that were fragmented from trauma that you've been through, and every life happens. When you start connecting these pieces, you start attracting, this is where that magnifying your energy comes in, you start attracting people and situations that mirror that back to you. They start being physically, emotionally, and mentally available to you because you've spent time becoming that to yourself. So the universe, whoever you believe in, has no choice but to reroute and recreate an algorithm that is going to bring more of the people that are going to amplify what you've been working on. This is just like a computer. It's literally just like a computer. You are revamping and upgrading your software systems, so you're going to start creating new algorithms where people are going to be shown to you that resonate now at a higher frequency where you're resonating now, because you no longer resonate in a denser energy. So that's what's really helped me, is connecting all of my bodies emotionally, mentally, and physically. My emotional body is so strong. It's so strong. So the part that I've lacked in a lot is the physical piece, where I lack a lot of motivation when it comes to connecting with myself physically. So that's one area that I'm still really working on connecting. But beauty it's going to be inside too. You can be as beautiful as you want, and you're still going to have the same issues as everybody else. And you can be as ugly as or your insides are on the outside, because that's what comes first, is our energy. We don't want to be just another pretty face, because that doesn't help us emotionally. And we don't want to be emotionally a wreck, because that doesn't help us physically. It doesn't give us what we need. So it's got to be balancing those out. And it can be tricky, but I just take it one step at a time. It's like peeling an onion. Like, there are layers, there are rings, there are spirals to this. It doesn't stop going. And just because you feel like you've been there before, you're there with a newfound awareness. And that's what makes going forward easier. So beauty it's everywhere. And you have to be able to put ego aside and see it everywhere. Because if you don't see it in yourself, you're never going to see it in anybody else. And I know that if I don't see it in other people, there is somewhere that I don't see it in myself. So there are plenty of girls that don't like me. There are plenty of guys that don't like me, but I have to like me, and same goes for all of you. So just know that when you are as comfortable with yourself as you possibly can be, you're going to attract those people in your life that are going to make you feel just as comfortable. And if you know how to love yourself, you're going to teach people how to love you. That's how it works. So understand, you got to be available to every single part of yourself in order to have other people outside of you available to you. So with everything, I'm sending you guys unconditional love as always through every cell of your body. I'll link everything down below. It really helps me out when you hit subscribe. I always really appreciate it too, to get this growing and send information out to people. I want to be able to balance. Not everybody understands energy. I didn't when I first started this, and so I always wanted somebody who was a spiritual teacher to show me both sides of it, because there are two sides to it. We live in a physical world, so I know I like to play in it too, and I really like to play in both of them. So I want to try and keep it down to earth, but also out there too. And make it more relatable, because I know when I would be watching videos of people talking and doing tarot card readings, it wasn't always relatable. So I'm going to try and tell stories. I'll get a little bit more comfortable about telling stories and a little bit more about my past so that you guys can relate to it. But I want to save that for a little bit later so that we can kind of just get rolling on what this actually is for now. So with that, hope everybody has a great week. Thank you.